did a photo shoot, and he gave him a concept, and he sends us things to say yay or nay, and Adam Hester, the chair of our department, took care of that.
And all the pictures on front, very nice. Everything's really great. I walk in the theater and the music's great. So who do we have to thank for the sound?
Tony is a student who did all the sound design, and I think he's working right now. But he is also intern for sound design.
Fabulous. Do we have other student designers?
We have student monitors.
That,
Jacob Alexander did the projections.
oh, really? Okay, they worked out great, and I love they worked very nicely with the set.
Right here, and Rachel
You
Bolton.
did this really well.
Rachel
Very
helped me
nice.
research as well, so she's the other.
Very nice. What kind of approach did you take to your task?
I just read through the script and met with Carrie, and we discussed the approaches she was looking at, and so I kind of took that as a kind of jumping off point to what I should pay attention to, in addition to the just geographical information and references that I should be paying attention to.
Excellent. Okay, when did you get started on it?
What was it, Carrie? Was it beginning of August? That I was asked to just prior to
Good.
school started.
Yeah, so you've been working on it a while. That's
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah, a lot of times people will wait and not get to work, so your job has to be done all the time. So very good collaboration. And a lot of my questions for you all tonight were answered during the talk back tonight with some of the questions and the answers that the cast gave. And so I may just cruise by some of those a lot, but I think it's a very challenging piece, and congratulations on taking that up, and I think everybody stepped right up to it. I talk about walking in and with the sound's nice, I look at the set and it's amazing. I want to go up and walk around and touch it, and play, and it's really, really beautiful and well done. I just have a couple other comments later about it, but the costumes are nice. One of the things that really struck me was the patience with the rhythm and the tempos of the entire production. I really like that so much. And given the marvelous note at the beginning about the dialogue and overlapping, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I hope I don't attack this too fast. And it was gorgeous at the beginning, that relationship just getting home, taking your time, getting established, and then the scene changing, the rhythmic changes through the episodes and through the action are fabulous. And the patience with the scene changes, I just thought were beautifully done. I was happy to have this time change and to see the transitions really unfold. So I think some really nice choices there. So when I walk in, everything looks really nice, and we have our dramaturg, and I love this, and their opportunity with David Leeson, great. The clock, you walk in, you can't miss it. So, and particularly during the scene changes, I came back to it. It is a great part of the set. It keeps me reminded, and just looking at the clock takes you to the moment where looking through the lens stops time. And then these moments in the play. So I just really thought everything worked together. The lighting, the practicals was beautiful, and the outside, the backlight on the clock, just nice stuff. Props, beautifully chosen, and costumes. Particularly for the wedding, I said, oh wow, look, here we are. I love those choices for the wedding. They're very well, they were specific to each character all the way through, but I love that wasn't overdone. It seemed like they were friends, and I think nice choices all the way through. I'm in love with your space. Do we have any run crews here? Good. Who have we got from what areas?
Changes and
Changes?
multiple crops.
Okay, so these work really nicely, the set's covered up there, but I love those panels, and are those front projections, I guess?
Yes, yeah.
Nice, finely tuned. Later I wrote, oh wow, the details just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and those are really, everybody worked together collaboratively, and you're a great team, it looks like to me. Those music. What I leave with, we usually begin with what I'm walking out the theater with, and I did get to sort of breeze through the script this afternoon. And it struck me, I think the primary thing for me was that once you love somebody, you never stop loving them. And that was one of the big deals for me. And then all of those unanswered questions. I think that's why it's such a great challenging piece for the audience, because it doesn't really let people off the hook by giving everybody all the answers. Because in life, not everything's given a clear answer. And I really like that. And what a great house for a challenging piece like this. I live in West Texas too. And it's hard to get your audience out, to be challenged in this way. I think you really grab them, and everybody's work is it's a great theater production team. So I give you kudos. And Mandy, you're exactly what I pictured when I wrote the script.
Thank you. The set is gorgeous, and now that I'm close to it, it actually doesn't look as big as when I was sitting up here at the top. That's a really interesting perspective. Because when I'm sitting up here, I wrote, I really wish it were maybe pressed together a little more to increase the tension. And I think we always do that when we design, is we want to use what we've got. But I wanted them to be forced into that pressurized situation a little bit more. But now that I get in the space, it feels bigger. So, it is a dialogue piece. The reality of relationships. I wanted to ask you about process. Well, you guys gave us some information about process in the talkback, which I appreciate. And anybody that wants to pitch some ideas, I'm real curious about how you approach the work. What did you do when you first attacked it? Did you work primarily discussing relationships? Did you look at their careers? What did you do? Because the relationships are really tough. These are tough relationships.
Focus most on the relationships, because didn't Dave Margulies say that
Yes.
say that this is a show about the relationships, so we took that apart and we focused on that first. And then how our professions affected those relationships, or the experiences affected those relationships.
I would say the information from David Leeson about career and their jobs definitely was the major influence on our relationships, because it informed so much of how you would feel if you come back from a foreign country where you've been covering war, right in the war zone. So I would say second day of rehearsal we started with David Leeson, and that kind of set the tone from then on out. He described his relationships, he described his job, and it was just so spot on from the read-through we had the day before, that we were like, okay, well, very informed now.
It's a beautifully crafted script, and I think you all approached it in just a really feeling way, thoughtful. And one of the things I noticed real early was the head work that was going on, and her pain early, and that distance. And there are some moments when he's going off, oh, you're on blah blah blah, and you're, wow, this is kind of weird. Those little nuances details of the set and the lights and costumes, and I just think you worked really hard to put together a fine piece here. I just found so many questions, and in the talk back, we kind of looked at it as perspectives and how we each have a different perspective on things. I kind of thought about how there were so many. In one place I wrote issues, another place I wrote the themes. It's so dense thematically with the issues and the perspectives, and I think those are really healthy for us as audience members to have to go out and grapple with these questions. Why can't people, who love each other make it? Well, there's other things going on in their lives, and what is the difference between, who did the gesture up here? Was that you? You said, the value, who's
Yeah.
right? Yeah, who's right? You really can't say, so it's a natural question, but, what is the value of the greater, working for the greater good? And that is a great challenge, I think, for our entire society. So it's a value to start with and then move back to there. So you seem like a well-connected cast. You seem to get along well and work as a team off the stage as well as on the stage. Writing in the dark sometimes not great. It seems to me, and my handwriting is so horrible anyway, it seems to me like guilt is a real motivating force for each of these characters. So maybe not she's really accepted and open to that good thing. But is Richard struggling with guilt too? I know these two just poured on. It's like
Yeah, no, I think, especially in that Act One seems to, I'm upset that they are planning on going back. I think that there, I'm the giver of guilt, that I want to give the guilt. And I think that that is Richard's role in a lot of places in his life and in his work, is the giver of guilt so that things can go the way that he sees will be successful, because he's so business driven, and this will bring success, and this will get us A to B. And so if things aren't, then guilt needs to be in that relationship so that it can be everyone that is successful. And then in the second act, with not being able to James's story as a magazine, I feel a lot of that guilt, because I'm working with the good of the magazine or the good of my friend. And ultimately, I had to decide what the good of the magazine with my business, because that's what I'm looking for, a big part of that. And so that guilt is there, but I've got to have myself accept and understand that I did what was right, but the guilt is absolutely still there. So I think that guilt is a big part of Richard's, his life in this way, just in a different way than theirs.
right. And I love the way you present that, because you seem to understand that give everybody that there's these verses. There's income, there's making money versus what can you do for people who need your help, and their story must be told. All those corporate things versus amusements versus art, and I really appreciate you brought all those things together and talked about it and thought about that. As audience members, do you all feel challenged with all those questions? And I know most of your company members, so you've been in on it quite a bit, but when you're on the other side of the curtain line, it makes a little difference. How about your audiences you've had this week with the talkbacks? Have they felt the challenge of trying to answer all those value questions? They appreciated that?
I
What you've
think
given
so.
them?
This play has been done in conjunction with cornerstone class that all of our freshmen at the university take, and it's a class that is centered, focused on critical thinking, ways of thinking, ways of knowing, and so we felt like this was a play that fit right in with that, and so the majority of our audience members throughout this week have been freshmen who are, many of them have never been to a play. And so it was a way to challenge them on many levels, just on, realizing how different it is responding to live theater rather than television or film. And then challenging them on the level they're used to thinking about theater as being purely entertaining. And where's the
Art
song
versus
dance
amusement.
spectacle? Yeah. And so in our talkbacks, we had quite a few interesting questions, and it was everything from how'd you get running water on the stage to just really deep, insightful questions. And it's going to be hard for us to know really how they've been affected because
Sure.
many of those questions are not going to come up with us. They're going to come up in their classes
Right.
later on.
Yeah, I just wanted to have
Yeah.
feedback yet, because I think those were great. The talkbacks sessions looked like they were great, and I know you guys have been here late every night here. I do have one question. Why the blue kitchen? How did we get to blue?
As in a color choice?
Yeah, it just took my eye away several times when we did that.
That was just for
Are you a
you.
scenic designer?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered about the blue, because it's more, it is a little more intense than the other colors. It just took my eye a couple of times.
Well, everything was pretty much based on research I've done on several apartments in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
The clock was, there's an apartment that had the clock window.
Oh, yeah.
And I just fell in love with it.
that's fabulous.
And, several different kitchens, and there was one that it just seemed almost out of place in this loft. And it wasn't blue, I think it was more of a brown. But it was the other colors that surrounded it. And I just kind of felt like it was his place.
Ah, okay.
And, that it was a nicer, comfortable place than the world that she was inhabiting out here. Hence the angles, the different color choices. But it was this nice, warm place. Maybe I overdid the psychological aspect of that whole thing,
No.
but that's what it came from.
No, and that's great, and it does help him when he's back there working away, and he's so far upstage from her, and she's really got, focus spots.
Because the colors, out here, they're really more neutrals.
Yeah,
And then the kitchen's very light. So.
I like that, and the windows here are so perfect for that part of Brooklyn. You see that in every building, so. Yeah, the nice details and reactions to, the tone of voice gave her away. That, there's nice details written in the script, and I really appreciate that you took the time to let them play out and to think about them. I think as a cast, you really, I do appreciate the good work. That very painful discussion was very well handled with Tori. And I was just curious. At the end of the act, does James turn off the lights to just the bedroom, or is that a mood cue?
It's a studio apartment, and so we treated it as a mood cue.
Okay.
Yeah, because we tried it several different ways, and there just was not a logistical way to do that without being theatrical about it.
I just wondered, because I wondered if I missed that.
Yeah.
Then we got that too. The intermission tag was haunting Yeah, thanks for challenging me with all of the questions, the value of art, and just, Richard, I'm just so envious of your hair. I used to have hair, and in Act Two, yeah, wow, it was like, I remember those days. Yeah, sorry.
They're good days.
You guys just making me sin all over the place, so. Wedding clothes I mentioned, skilled holding for last, technically, you all are doing great. All those versus things going on, I can only drag you through that, you've been through this show. Mostly, I repeatedly just talk about so many themes, and I just, it is so rich, and I'm glad you all recognize that. The blood on the lens story, did the woman actually touch the lens and make it bloody, or was that mine? Because it really fired my imagination when I read it, and then listening to you was really nice. That was just a really nice approach, and you just took the time. That's what I say about patience. I love the patience. You took your time going into it. And it didn't just, pop. And I just think that they're really great choices along the way. And I'm sorry I call you by character names, but I haven't got your names in my head yet. But Sarah, does your director have any pet peeves?
Karen?
Well, one of mine is to say N-O as Noah. Do you hear that? Noah. Noah. Practical Lights I love. I really like the way cultures, their perspectives collided with Mandy and Sarah. That you guys just let it happen. The moment you're looking at the pictures on the computer as business moneymakers, she's looking at it for the humanity, and she's feeling so you guys have the humanity in common. You just approached it so different. I like your gesture. I don't know. For me, coming in as fresh eyes, I just really had a great time. I yes, have been really busy, and I've been painting at rehearsal every night this week, and for me, and I hurried to get here, and I got to sit down and really enjoy myself. So, to the entire company, thank you for the gift. I think your hard work is really a wonderful thing, and I appreciate it. Do you want to say anything to me? Okay, you want to go home, don't you? Or are you striking tonight?
No.
Thank goodness.
Monday. Yeah,
Go home.
we just really appreciate you coming and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Kudos,